Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Gilbert, the writer and director of this film. Joel.
Why does it matter who Barack Obama's father really is? I'll tell you. Barack Obama sold himself to America as the multicultural ideal, a man who stood above politics. His father was a goat herder from Kenya, so he would bring people together. So it went. As a result, people, regular American folks in the Midwest, perceived Barack Obama as a nice man with an inspiring family story. However, the reality, as shown in my film and through my research, is that Barack Obama, in fact, has a deeply disturbing family background, which he intentionally hid in order to obscure a Marxist political foundation. While voters will overlook some fudging by politicians promoting a false background to hide an agenda irreconcilable with American values is an unacceptable manipulation of the public and of the electorate. At age 18, Obama admittedly arrived at Occidental College as a committed revolutionary Marxist. Based on his own accounts, there can be no doubt that Frank Marshall Davis, a Communist Party USA propagandist, indoctrinated Obama with a Marxist and anti-white worldview during his formative years, and Davis became Obama's ideological father as well. This is a known phenomenon in the radical left, referred to as red diaper babies or hand-me-down Marxism. Much of the leadership of the SDS and Weather Underground were children of Communist Party USA members, including Catherine Boudin, Jeff Jones, and many more. David Axelrod, also a red diaper baby. His mother was a red journalist, just like Obama. As I speak today here at the National Press Club, I'm reminded that Obama's election was not a sudden political phenomenon. It was the culmination of an American socialist movement that Frank Marshall Davis helped to nurture in Hawaii and in Chicago, and has been quietly infiltrating U.S. economy, media, and universities for decades. What also strikes me here at the National Press Club is that any one of hundreds of journalists in this building could win the Pulitzer Prize just by watching this movie and writing an article about the evidence that I present in Dreams from My Real Father. So, today here at the National Press Club, I would like to recall the journalist's creed. It's actually posted on the wall between the two elevators. Didn't know that when I arrived. And the journalist's creed is a code of ethics for the profession of journalism. It was written by Walter Williams in 1906 when he founded the Missouri School of Journalism. Journalist's creed stipulates the following: that journalists must be public trustees with a full measure of responsibility to the public, that accuracy and fairness are fundamental to good journalism, that a single standard of truth must prevail for all, that suppression of the news by journalists is indefensible, and that journalism must be independent, unbiased by personal opinion, and always unafraid. I accuse all major American television networks and most cable news networks of gross violations of the journalist creed. I accuse ABC, NBC, and CBS network news divisions of violating the public trust by refusing to cover my documentary film and for ignoring all the revelations about Obama's background that other researchers have produced. I accuse MSNBC of an intentional and often vile campaign of lies and misrepresentation to protect Barack Obama's false narrative. I accuse even websites like Newsmax.com of censorship. On May 2nd of this year, I actually paid them for a banner campaign in advance, which they pulled at the last second. Why? Why did you pull my campaign? They said they wanted to move to the center. I accuse all leftist websites-based news organizations in this building of intentional bias, like TPM, TalkingPointsMemo.com. On April 26th, they requested a review copy of Dreams from My Real Father, which we provided. but instead they illegally copied parts of it and posted it on YouTube and instructed the public now they don't need to buy the film. I also accuse all the mainstream print media, like Washington Post, New York Times, Newsweek, Time Magazine, for intentionally suppressing the truth about Barack Obama's history and their refusal to cover my findings and other researchers. The public looks to all of these news organizations in this building, the National Press Club, for the truth. However, an astounding number, almost all of them, have failed to live up to the journalist's creed and have thus failed their responsibility to their profession and the public. Only a very few news organizations like WorldNet Daily, Drudge Report, USA Survival, and a handful of independent journalists like Jack Cashill have done their jobs as journalists with courage and honesty. So my message to the journalists here at the National Press Club is, don't suppress the truth. It is vitally important. America needs a truthful press, unafraid. America is worth it. Take any risk to expose the truth about a candidate or even a sitting president. And what is the truth? All evidence points to Barack Obama building his political career upon a fairy tale. There was no Obama family. He is not the son of a goat herder. His mother took him to Seattle when he was 3 weeks old. All the evidence is in, and the Kenyan was simply a sham marriage to cover an illicit affair between Ann Dunham and Frank Marshall Davis. You'll have to buy the movie to see those photos, but they are in the movie. We have intimate photos of the two of them. All evidence indicates that Barack Obama was raised and indoctrinated by Frank Marshall Davis, a Communist Party propagandist, during his formative years. And all evidence indicates that Barack Obama, his entire life, pursued the dreams from his real father. And what are those dreams? They are the dreams of a forced imposition of a classic Stalinist Marxist agenda upon America at home and abroad. And what is the history of Marxism? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the results are already in. Marxism leads to economic ruin and the biological destruction of populations in societies that have employed a Marxist model. American journalists have a key role to play in revealing the truth, and they must do so immediately without further delay, because Obama's style is to minimize, misdirect, and outright lie about damaging information about his past. America needs honest journalism now more than ever so the public can understand what Obama means when he says fundamentally transforming America. Nothing is more important in this late hour that journalists live up to the journalist creed. Now, not only does the mainstream media refuse to look at Obama's personal and political foundations, they refuse to even report the current campaign with simple facts. When speaking of the economy, Obama says, "My opponent wants to go back to the policies which got us into this mess," or "the free market doesn't work." Well, a journalist only needs to look at simple facts. The major cause of the economic meltdown was the subprime mortgage debacle, and Obama was in on it, on the ground floor. When he was asked about his role with Acorn in the 2008 campaign debates, Obama lied when he said his law firm only represented Acorn to sue the state of Illinois to implement the Motor Voter Act, which, by the way, 9 of the 18 9/11 hijackers registered to vote under Motor Voter. But Obama also represented Acorn in suing Citibank in 1995. It's in my film, forcing Citibank to lower their lending standards to lend to minorities even if they were unqualified borrowers. Acorn then wormed their way into the Clinton administration, taking the model established in Chicago to HUD Secretary Henry Cisneros. Cisneros convinced Bill Clinton to require Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to force all banks across the American banking system to lower their lending standards. So this Acorn model that Obama helped create the foundation for crashed the economy 12 years later. Journalists only have to Google it, and they would see that this was all by design. It was part of the socialist strategy that Obama learned when he attended socialist conferences in New York, where they said they would use minorities and the poor to collapse capitalism. Problem solving and fair play were the code words that socialists learned. The strategy which they employed successfully was to move the Democratic Party to the far left and embrace socialism as their natural ideology. Obama now uses terms like helping middle-class families. But simply speaking, socialist economies do not have a middle class. They have one big lower class with a group of political elites that control the wealth. Now, I have received hundreds of emails from concerned Americans, and I want to read you one from a Vietnam veteran. He says, "Dear Mr. Gilbert, I was very mad after I watched your DVD. You have cracked the code surrounding Obama and the true Marxist mission he is on. We are on the verge of losing the Constitution. Freedom and liberty are in jeopardy. As a Vietnam veteran, I ask, what did I fight for? Please, can you get this information out to millions? We Americans need it. It's our only hope." This is from Bern Nilsson in Denver, Colorado. So because of people like Bern, and because almost all levels of the media are suppressing the vital facts about Obama, and as I've done in my research in Dreams from My Real Father, I'm announcing that my distribution company is planning to send a free copy, I'm going to show it to you, in the US mail to millions of households of the DVD. It's amazing. So this process has already begun. Within 3 weeks, hundreds of thousands will be mailed across the states of Ohio, Virginia, and Florida. From there, thank you. From there, we're expanding across all of the United States until every American understands the deadly Marxist dreams Obama has for us from his real father, Frank Marshall Davis. And again, any journalist in this building, the National Press Club, the Pulitzer Prize can be yours. Everyone, please, I'd like you to visit the website. It's obamasrealfather.com. Thank you, and God bless America. Thank you.